everyone, I'm Bobby from Dig Coding, and this is the 24th video in the building and launching a real Django website series. So if you've been following along, you'll know now that our website is looking good. In fact, I left you with a bit of homework last time in the last video, link to which is up there, and your job was to carry on adding images to the rest of your templates to make them look outstanding. Well, I did that myself, and in doing so, I realized that I needed to change the models, change the context processor, and change the API from the last video. So, rather than doing SEO in this video, number 24, we're going to actually go through the work that I carried out. I did about an hour and a half outside of this camera being on me. So we'll go over that piece of work. I'll show you the website, what it looks like now, and then we will build out the media page because we're using list views in our views.py file, and it allows us to use less code. Well, what it does, you select the model that you push through to the template. So I'm going to show you how to access that model, or the object, in the template. And I'm also going to show you how to paginate the views, because I've got like 50 videos or 45 videos on my channel now, and you don't want to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You want pagination. So you click on page 2 and it loads another 10. Page 3, another 10, so on and so forth. So that's what we're going to do today, and look at my screen. So this is the website. It looks a lot better than what it did. The reason being is because outside of being filmed, I realized that the template I was using, I didn't like that much, especially compared to the one I selected. I've changed the font, I've added some more buttons, I'm cooking on gas. Got a different logo. I like this logo. My colouring is purple and orange, so I've just hashed this one up. It looks a lot better now. Scroll along, different image. Also, I went on Photoshop. They were a bit too bright, so what I've done, I've kind of shaded them off a bit because it makes the white text pop, which looks great. Scroll down here. The API works really well that we wrote yesterday. I've changed it a little bit now because we needed to get some statistics from YouTube as well, so likes and counts and likes and views, which we're doing. I'll show you what I've done. But this here, I'm passing through. So I'm using context processors to pass the object, or the 5 most recent objects, through to each template, which is very handy. I'll show you how I've done that. So these are the 5 most recent videos, which is great. You click on any one of them and it pops up with a video player. So you can view the video. I've got these elements here, they look nice, because I don't just do YouTube, I do other things as well, as you can see. Shameless plug. But when you visit the website, you see what I do. It's all good. Diddemo.com. Got 2 nice little testimonials. And then I've got the footer. So it's got the 4 most recent. That is on every single page. So this is to promote my YouTube channel, right? So I'm going to have the videos littered all across all of the pages, which is good. Right, that's the home page. The About Us page. We've got a little header here. Like this header, it's the same header that's in the media and the Contact Us page, because it is now a partial. The only difference being is this sentence where it says this is our About page, that changes. And I changed the About word by using request.path and then removing the first character. So that's how that works. So I've got a partial, I'll show you that. This is the most recent video, you click that, shows. Then we've got this here. So it's just a banner of text. In fact, if I do this and just reload and then scroll up, it does a nice little sort of count, which I like. So I've got 43 videos, 11 hours. So I look at the duration that's on the model, sorry, in the database, but it's a string, right? So I have to make it an integer, break down the hours, minutes and seconds, make them all integers and add them to a count, and then divide it by 60, right? And then do a round. So I'll show you what I did there. It's not too difficult. Number of views, number of likes. So we're using statistics in the API call. Again, I'll show you what I did there. This is the same partial that we used in home. And then we've got this little bit here, which is quite nice. And the footer. Let's look at the contact page. Again, same header. But we've got a form here. So we are going to use JavaScript later on in this tutorial. We use JavaScript. Of course we're going to use JavaScript. We're going to use jQuery, which is a JavaScript library. Now we're adding jQuery because it adds a lot of functionality to the project. jQuery is fantastic. One of the things that it does allow us to use is something called AJAX. So if you don't know what AJAX is, Quite simply put, without going into a deep dive, it allows us to update areas of our web page without having to reload the page. Quite simple as that. So we'll go in a bit of a deeper dive when we go through it in a later video, but that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to use to submit the contact us form. But we'll use AJAX and we'll tie it in with Django's model forms, which is fantastic. So we'll do all of the validation for the form in the back end, but we'll actually submit the form in the front end using jQuery. Anyway, let's put a stop to that because I'll talk more about it in a future video. So that is the contact us page. Let's look at the media page. It is this. Not much going on because this is the template, right? This is the one I selected. So what we need to do in today's video is actually change these to the videos and have links to or a pop up to the video on the browser. And we'll use a for loop to loop through the object that we've passed through to list view. So that's what we're going to do. Right, okay, let's open up the project. Let's go here. Where are we? We're in models. So what I've done, this could be a long video, I do apologise. This is the new media model. So I've added formatted title with a max length of 50, okay? Description is the same, views as an integer, default 0, likes as an integer field, default 0. I've then got is active, I believe was already in there, but that is it. So I made the migrations to the main database, don't forget to do that. And I believe that was it actually in the model. So that is the model. Views, I haven't done anything, but we will change that. We'll have paginate by, and we'll have paginate by 10 probably. And that's the base. Jobs. Right, so jobs. Remember we left this time formatting function? Well, now we're actually going to use it. So we've increased it from 30 to 45 because when I was playing around the other day, earlier on today and yesterday, 30 wasn't quite enough. So we've now gone to 45. So any title with over 45 characters, we then have 41 characters with a ... or 42 characters with a ... So it's always 45 characters. Looks good when it's rendered in the template. Duration, we don't need to go through that. Right, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. I want to make this as quick as I can for you. I don't want to bore you. Let's save that. Right, okay, so we've added statistics to the actual call itself. That's the only change. Everything else works exactly the same. So we're making this call every 20 minutes. We're making a call to the videos and list, and now we've added these two. And so, hang on, we've added this. So media, so formatted title, we're then actually, the title that comes back, we're then calling title formatting and saving that to formatted title. And then these two here, we've got media.links is now the statistics like count for each video, and we change it to an integer. Same with views, and then we make a save. That's all we've changed in jobs. Updater is the same, no different. Jobs, views, no, so sorry, media. That's all I had to do, I believe. Context processor, let's go through that quickly and then we'll go through media. So in the context processor, here we go. So we've got the duration conversion. So this takes the duration from the model as a string, breaks it down, and converts it all to integers and adds it to a counter and divides it by 60. That's all it's doing. I don't need to go for any more than that. Then we've got a project context. So this is what we are calling in the settings.py file under templates context processors. All media, so it's the media objects, and we filter everything that is not active. So any videos that are unlisted or deleted, we don't look at. We have 3 empty variables or 0 variables. Then we loop through all media, and then we just do an add equals. So we keep adding to the variable the duration. We add the number of likes and the number of views, and what we're left with is a variable with the total number of each. And then we create latest media, which is the 5 most recent videos. So if we now look in media, in the models, what I did add, which I don't think I had before, was this class meta, which allows us to order the objects against their timestamp. I may have added that in the last video, I can't remember. So context processor, and that's it. And then we return all of these. So we can now access latest media, total media, and we can access those in templates, which is very, very handy. So before we make any changes to these or the media HTML, let's look at the main base for the footer. Footer site, now it'll be up here. So okay, these are the 4 image elements in the footer. So you can see here that we've got an A tag, which is taking us to the YouTube video. Okay, so it's the latest media object. The first, so 0 is the first media object, and we're getting a video ID. So this HTTPS or this URL becomes www.youtube.com/video ID, and that's what allows us to access the video. Classes play video pop up, and in the CSS, that is what brings up the video player. Then we've got SRC, which is the image. Yeah, so that's the thumbnail. And then we're calling it alt, so it's got the ID dash thumbnail, and then we've got style width 454 pixels. Okay, so that's all we've done. So that's the 4. So that's how we're accessing that data, is by the context processor, because I've created that context keyword, latest media. That's what we're doing. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I think it's time to go through the media.html. I don't want to make this video go on any longer than it has to, but we're probably halfway. So the media, if you look here now, we have got, this is the template that I got. Scroll, 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 it's all the same, but essentially what it is the same element over and over again. And it says start portfolio item, end portfolio item, and then it's got a div, and then it's got the div. So this is one item on the HTML document. I've probably just really murdered that explanation, but that is what it is. So this is one of the elements. This class has got brand and design. The reason it's got brand and design, and this one's got design and typo, is because it's using those classes for the filter. But I've removed the filter at the top. It had a brand, it had design, it had typo all along the top, and as you clicked it, it resorted them and shuffled them, which is kind of a JavaScript / CSS fancy pants things that we do on a lot of their websites these days. I mean, it's great, it looks good, but I'd sooner have pagination, to be fair. So we have 10 items and you keep scrolling through the pages and then mix that in with a search function. That's what I'm going to do. So I don't need that brand and design. So I'm going to remove that. Just have it as a class col, which is column. Okay, so we're going to do a for M, so for media M in the variable name. You can call this anything you like. That could be light, it could be anything, but I'm going to call the variable M and reference M when I make a call within the for loop. So for M in, and this will be so normally, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to open up my browser, because I'm going to reference things now that I haven't actually spoken about. In the description below, there's 2 links. There's one link to this page, which is generic display views. There's another one to Pagination. Now, in a list view, you access the object that you pass, so the model equals article. You access, in this case it's media, you access that object in the template as an object list, okay? So I would be putting for M in object list. However, we are going to use Pagination. So when you use Pagination, you access the list in a slightly different way, and you use something called page object, okay? So that's how you access the object if it's a list view. In Pagination, by the way, if we were using a function-based view, to get Pagination working into your view, it takes a few more lines of code. So that's why I like generic list view. So if you scroll down this page and we get to paginating a list view, all you need to add is this, paginate by, copy, go back to your view, and literally we just add it here, but I want 10. You can have any number you like, but so you can have 50. That means if you've got 52 videos, you'll have a page of 50, the next video will have 2. Does that make sense? I'm going to have 10 because I've got about 40 videos. Eventually I'll have 400, which means I'll have 40 pages. Anyway, paginate by. So now we access the object in the template by putting page obj, page object. And we want to end this for loop here. And everything below this I can now delete. So I don't need it because that's straight out of the template. But we do need that last div because it closes, just to double check, it will close this one here. Okay, so that div is for that one there. Okay, so we've got a for loop. So we're now looping through all media sent to the template from the list view. Brilliant, making complete sense. We now want on here where it says href portfolio dash single.html. What we want to do, we want to control H, and I want to change that. How have I caught the P as well? I want to change that to https youtube.com/ and now this is where we access m.video ID, and then we go like that. Replace all. So every time there's an A tag in the element that we're just taken from the template that was taking us to a different HTML page, I've just changed that now to a YouTube link. So that will work. Save. And then we want, just having a look here, we want, so for the thumbnail, which is image is this one here. Right, we've got static assets img portfolio. So that's just coming off from the stock photo that comes through the template. We don't want that. What we want is m.image. And then rather than saying image has tech, we want, or I want, should I say, m.id. So that's the ID of the, sorry, m.id, close that off, and then we'll have div coding video. So that's now the alt for that image. So that's bringing through the thumbnail that we've got saved to the object. It's got hyperlinks, so A tags, so href A tags to the YouTube video, and that will allow us to open up the video element that I showed you when I was walking you through the template there. The difference being that what we need to do is we need to use the class that was in all of the other templates, which I haven't shown you, but there's a class. Without this class, it won't work. So we have to have class play video pop-up. That's in the CSS on this template. So every time we have an A tag and we have a href, we need to do that. So hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do here and how I'm stringing this all together. Right, on this one here, it's already got a class. So rather than having another class, you just copy it, put a space, boom, add that. Yeah, I can see I've actually changed this in my notes. So there we go. And rather than it saying branding, what we're going to have is m.formatted. Oh dear. Formatted title. There we go. Oh, hang on. Does that work? Yeah, it was. There we go. So I made a real meal of that. See, when I'm not filming, I haven't got my mic. I've got two screens. I've got a lot more elbow room. It's a lot easier. So bear with me, please. No, what we do here is duration, and then we go m.duration. Done. So that's going to show up as that and that and that. Right, save. Now this will show up. It should show up all of our videos. So it's going to be along old. No, because I'm paginating. So if I remove pagination from views, I'll show you what I mean actually. So just comment that out, save, and then go back in here. Where are we going? Yeah, because I'm accessing it by using page object. So go back into media and go object list, save, and there we go. So yeah, keep scrolling. This is every video, and what you don't want all of this content on one page, right? So that is what the original looks like before we paginate. So now we'll go back in and just replace what I've just done there, go on to views, replace what I've done there and save. Now what we need to do is go into media, and we now need to add the pagination. So if we go back into the docs, so paginate by to, and it then gives us it tells you that you access the object by using page objects, right? And then it gives you an example of how to access the pagination. So when you use paginate by, it adds a different object, and then it adds a paginated object into the template that you can then access. So I've used this code here, but I've mixed it with the code from the template. Now I am going to copy this across because it's a hell of a lot of typing, it will take me too long. So what I need to do is copy everything in this row here, copy, and I'll dump it in here where it was for me earlier today, and I'll save. If I then go into the template up here, you should then have, there we go, we then got pagination. So it's saying I'm on page 1. If I click next, it'll go to page 2 in the URL parameter. That's how pagination works. So it's saying filter all of the results from media, remove the first 10 and show me from 11 onwards. I butchered that explanation, but that's basically what it's doing. We're using a parameter to tell the back end what information we're rendering. There we go, that's a bit better of an explanation. Okay, so that's the next 10, and then when I'm on page 2, using that example that Django gives you, it then dynamically adds these. So if you're on page 1, you don't see previous and last. If you're on page 2, it then accesses it. But you've got this one here to show you the first, and this one here to show you the last, which is really nice actually. So if we go to next, it will then say 3. There we go, yeah. So that is it. I don't need to go through any more. To be honest, I didn't really need to make this video. I mean, I've used 20 minutes of your time. I hope that's not being too selfish with your time, but I did feel that when I was doing a piece of work earlier and last night, I was doing it kicking myself, thinking I should really have done a video about this because it's quite important, especially to the beginners out there. If you're not used to using Django, you're not used to using generic list views, you're not used to using pagination, you know, this stuff is gold dust. You know, it took me a long time to figure out how to string all of this together. Actually, not just to string it together, but figure out what works best on the projects I work on. Because some projects you don't use pagination. Sometimes you might use something like one of the jQuery libraries or add-ons called Load More. Right, so it depends what you're looking for in a project, but I just felt that this stuff needed to be documented. I needed to do a video about it. I believe now we're all caught up. So the next video will be about SEO. So thank you very much. Again, if you want to support this page, so the quality of these videos go up and the speed in which I can make them also will increase, then please visit my Patreon page, the link to which is in the description below. Any pledges we massively welcomed. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share this video, come to think of it. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.